Hey guys, welcome back to the Glam Bar Girls. This is Carmen, and today we're going to do an easy everyday look. Right now I'm using the Becca Poreless Primer, and I'm just putting this on my most troublesome areas, like my T-zone and right around my nose. Now I'm going to use the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. This is one of my absolute favorite foundations, and I'm using the Morphe Y6 brush. And I'm just going to pat that into my skin. I am not brushing to leave brush strokes. I am just patting it into my skin. This is how you're going to get the best coverage for your face. Now this shade may look a little light on the screen. This is just because of the lighting at the moment. This is not too light for me. Well, it is now because it's the summer and I'm more tan, but at the time it wasn't. I'm using a little bit of the NARS concealer in Custard just to kind of get right up under my eyes. And then I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape to highlight. I'm just going to blend that in with a Real Techniques blending sponge, and I'm going to use the NYX Wonder Stick to go in closer to my under eyes to conceal a little more, and then I'm actually going to use the contour side to do my cream contour. Then you're going to get it right on your cheekbones, along your jawline if you need a little more definition, and on your nose and forehead. Then I'm putting a little bit more of that Tarte Shape Tape in places that I want to bring out a little bit more of a highlight, and I'm just going to blend it in with a Real Techniques sponge. You may notice my 2-year-old in the background. I'm a mom, so this is what happens. They don't leave you alone while you do your makeup. And when I blend out my cream contour, I'm just going to blend up. Blend down and up, like, well, not down and up, but up and to the side so that you keep getting it in the spots that it needs to go. Same with the forehead, you're just going to blend it out. Make sure it's blended out really good. You don't want to have too harsh of a contour. All right, now I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild contour palette, and I'm going to use some doe color brushes, and I'm going to contour my face. I'm going to use the Real Techniques sponge to add some highlighting powder under my eye, on my cupid's bow, chin, nose, forehead. And then I'm going to contour. That is a Unicorn Lashes UK brush from their Unicorn collection, which is really fun. I'm just contouring my nose, contouring my cheeks, just to kind of get some more definition with the powder. This will also help set the cream. Then I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer, and I'm just going to bronze up my face. And I'm using a doe color brush for this. This is from that was from their fantasy collection, and then I used a Real Techniques powder brush to brush off all of the powder. All right, now I'm going to go in with some NYX Ombre Blush, and I'm just going to pop this on my cheeks just to give me a little more definition and make my cheeks a little more rosy. If it's too much, you can go back in with your foundation brush and just kind of pat it on to blend it out a little. And I'm using the NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray, and I'm going to pat that in with my Real Techniques Beauty Blender so that it can kind of like blend out the powder. And it's not a beauty blender, it's a beauty sponge, but you get the point. All right, now I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and I'm going to define my brows a little bit. I have really full brows, so I try not to do too much with them. I just like them a little more natural looking. And I'm just going to define them. Start at the front and then I go under the bottom, fill out the front a little more, and then I'm going to go on the top and fill in. Always make sure you guys brush out your brow afterwards so it's not so harsh and it looks a little more natural. All right, so I'm popping on that next brow. Now remember guys, don't try to make your brows twins. It's not going to happen. Just try to make them the closest looking sisters you can, because they're not going to be perfect. All right, so now brows are done. I'm going to put that up, and we're going to get started on the eyes. So we're going to use some of my ColourPop pressed pigment shadows from obviously ColourPop, and they are in a Sephora Z palette, double decker. And I'm just going to go in with the lighter shades to kind of create some powder on my eyes to blend out all that foundations on there. And then I'm going to create my transition shade. Then we're going to pop in a little bit of a darker shade in the crease. We're kind of creating similar to a halo, but not 100% a halo eye. Then we're going to go in with the darkest shade that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put that right in the outer V of the eye. And then I'm going to blend it lightly into the crease, just to bring a little more definition. All right, and now we're going to pop some shimmers on the center of the eye. I'm going to use a darker shade first, and I'm just going to pat it with my finger just to kind of fill it in. Then I'm going to use a lighter, brighter shade in the center, just to make it pop a little more. I'm going to blend just a little bit to make sure everything's not too harsh. All right, I'm just blending, blending, blending. Fix up that brow because it got messed up. Stuff happens. All right, now I'm going to highlight with my Becca highlighter. This is Champagne Pop, which is my absolute favorite. Their collab with Jaclyn Hill. I'm going to put that on my spots of my face I want highlighted. I'm going to put a little bit above my brow, under my brow bone, and in the corner of my eye, just to make it pop a little more. Then we're going to smoke out the lower lashes, just using the transition shade and then a little bit of the darker shades. I am not really adding very much product to my brush. I'm just using what was left over and then just blending it out with a clean brush. And if you go too far down, you can just clean it up with your beauty sponge. All right, so I was going to try the Perversion by Urban Decay. I had a sample, but it was gross and dried out, so I'm going to use the Better Than Sex mascara. And I used the Tarte eyeliner for my under eyes and to tightline. All right, and then I'm going to use Lime Crime for my lips with my Kylie liner. And I am using the shade Sasha from Lime Crime. And this is just the Kylie lip liner that came in the Kylie lip kit for the, I want to say Coco K lip color. And I'm just lining my lips, and I'm going to use the Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Kiss lip balm on my lips because it's amazing. And then just pop that lime crime lipstick on my lips to finish up this look. All right, we are all done, pretty much. All right, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook at The Glam Bar Girls. All right, thanks guys, bye.